So the Archdiocese of New Orleans filed for bankruptcy. Archbishop Gregory Aymond told the Vatican it would cost $7 million.
But they've already paid $40 million and still haven't settled with 500 sexual abuse claimants. WWL investigator David Hammer and our reporting partner Ramon Vargas have been questioning those fees for over a year.
Now they bring us an exclusive look at why the costs have grown out of control.
When it comes to managing the skyrocketing costs of the Archdiocese of New Orleans bankruptcy case, businessman Lee Egan says the buck stops with him.
I review all bills relative to the bankruptcy and not the general counsel.
The Archdiocese is bankrupt because it faces more than 500 child sexual abuse claims, which could cost hundreds of millions of dollars to settle. But the church hasn't paid a penny to the victims. Instead, it's paid $40 million just on lawyers and other bankruptcy professionals. Egan testified last month that Archbishop Gregory Aymond told him those costs have now grown, quote, excessive.
He says we need to settle this bankruptcy as quickly as possible.
But Egan himself admits in settlement negotiations he's been obstructive, not urgent.
They just said the wall's blue. I've got to say, I'm not sure it's blue. I think it's pink.
To me, that looks like he's not dealing in good faith.
Attorney Christopher Edmonds sued the Archdiocese for discrimination against children with disabilities in 2022, well after the bankruptcy was filed. The church's lawyers at the Jones Walker firm tried to move the case from state court to the federal bankruptcy court. They lost, appealed, and lost again, and for that, they billed the bankrupt Archdiocese $320,000.
They spent a whole ton of money based on the premise that it would cost money to defend the suit. It makes no sense.
Edmonds said some of the individual bills from Jones Walker made even less sense.
The law firm billed $15,000 opposing our motion seeking $11,000. They spent around $9,000 on an emergency motion to stay that never even got filed.
Edmonds says he isn't surprised that Egan testified he doesn't know bankruptcy rules and has absolutely no experience with bankruptcy cases.
I manage the bankruptcy on the business side.
You don't claim to be an expert in bankruptcy in any respect, do you?
Correct.
And you do not have education, training, or experience to be a bankruptcy expert, correct?
Correct.
Attorneys for survivors of child sexual abuse took Egan's deposition last month. Wearing a neck brace, he testified he was cognitively impaired from a serious car accident nearly 2 years ago.
You compared your cognitive impairment and said you aren't as bad as Biden because you know where you are, correct?
I said that.
At another point, Egan professed his admiration for the commander of the Confederacy.
You live by the honor code of Confederate General Robert E. Lee, do you not?
Absolutely. Do you? I mean, he's a good guy.
It's clear that whoever's running the show doesn't know what they're doing.
Now, after hardly questioning the fees approved by Egan for years, a watchdog from the U.S. Justice Department is taking notice. In a new filing last week, the U.S. bankruptcy trustee argues lawyers should have 20% of their fees held back until a settlement deal gets done.
And only then did the U.S. trustee, I guess, get caught flat-footed and say, oh yeah, we agree, there should be a 20% holdback. Where were you? Do your job.
Some of Jones Walker's fees went to partner Wayne Zarang for conversations he had with the Archdiocese in-house counsel, his wife, Susan Zarang. Lawyers for the survivors say that's a conflict of interest. But Egan says not to worry. He's made sure Susan Zarang doesn't review any of her husband's law firm's bills.
Why doesn't she look at any of this stuff?
It has been set up that I download those fees. She does not see them, nor are they mailed.
Why has it been set up that way?
I decided through the Finance Council and the Archbishop's directive to do it that way.
David Hammer, WWL, Louisiana.
Survivors' attorneys have asked for Egan to be removed from managing the bankruptcy.
The Archdiocese sent a statement from Archbishop Aymond saying in part, quote, "I have never considered removing Lee Egan from his role in the bankruptcy. I have complete faith in his abilities and his desire to help move the local church forward and remain grateful for his selfless commitment to the church and the process."
Jones Walker also sent a statement defending its fees and saying in part, quote, "We have worked daily with Lee Egan and know that the attacks on him are unprofessional and scurrilous."
Lawyers for abuse survivors also asked if Jones Walker partner Wayne Zarang got a special origination fee when his wife's organization, the church, hired the law firm.
A Jones Walker representative refused to answer under oath.